Welcome back to Andersen Acres. Today we're talking about a plant that doesn't just show up at the garden party. It arrives in full makeup, heels, and with a wind machine. The Canna. If Calendula was the sunshine flower every garden needs, Canna is the garden's diva, dramatic, bold, and absolutely certain that you're all here to admire her. Now, around here, we love a little personality in our plants. So let's talk about what makes this tropical showstopper worth all the attention. And to be fair, a little extra work. Because if you're willing to pamper her just a bit, she'll reward you with a display that looks straight out of a Caribbean resort. Canna, or Canna hybrids, if you want to sound fancy, are tropical plants known for their big, bold flowers and lush, almost jungle-like leaves. The blooms come in your fiery reds and your sunshine yellows and the coral pinks and rich oranges, sometimes even streaked or spotted with other shades. The leaves can be plain green, bronze, or even striped. Think a banana leaf with attitude. Depending on the variety, these plants can be anywhere from 2 feet tall to 6 feet tall. They can really tower over you. That means you can find one for just about any space. A dwarf variety for containers or smaller gardens, or a full-size diva to stand tall at the back of your borders, demanding to be noticed. Now, let's talk about where to put her, because Canna isn't shy, but she is particular. Cannas love full sun. We're talking at least 6 hours a day, no less, preferably 8, but 6 is the minimum. But if you're in a hotter region, she'll tolerate a little bit of afternoon shade. It'll work. The soil should be moist but well drained. Think rich organic material with a little compost worked in. She does not appreciate sitting in the mud, but she also won't thank you for drought conditions. So you got to keep that moisture level pretty consistent and pretty much dead in the middle. If you live in a warm climate like zone 8 and up, you can plant the rhizomes straight in the ground and leave them there year round. For those of us in cooler climates, like here, cannas are more of a seasonal affair. You'll want to plant the rhizomes in spring once the soil has warmed up. Or you can get a jump on things by starting them indoors in pots. They're usually ready to go outside once all danger of frost has passed. They can't tolerate even the slightest amount of frost. They're tropical. So plant each rhizome about 4 to 6 inches deep, with the little eyes or growing points facing up. Give them plenty of space, about a foot or two apart, because once they take off, they'll form a lovely, dense clump. Once they're growing, you'll see why people love them. They're vigorous, lush, and downright tropical in appearance. To keep them happy, give them consistent moisture, especially during hot summer weather. They love to drink. If you're the kind of gardener who forgets to water, Canna is your built-in reminder system. She's going to start looking droopy faster than a toddler at nap time. Feed her every few weeks with a balanced fertilizer to encourage flowering. And if you really want to keep those blooms coming, deadhead the spent flowers as they fade. This will encourage new spikes to form and keep your plant looking fancy for a while. One thing to watch for is wind. Those tall, broad leaves can tear in high wind gusts. It won't usually hurt the plant, but if you're going for picture-perfect foliage, consider giving her a bit of shelter. So we can't have them up the front because we get such heavy winds. When we do plant them, they tend to be back here where they are a little more sheltered. Take that into account. Now here's where Canna's diva tendencies really shine. She's not interested in frost at all. The first, even slightly gentle frost will knock her down completely. So if you're in a colder climate, don't panic. She's not gone. She's just being dramatic. Once the frost has blackened the leaves, it's time to cut the stems back to about 4 inches above the ground. Then carefully dig up the rhizomes. Let them dry for a day or two, just enough to toughen the outer layer, and then tuck them into a box of barely damp peat moss or sawdust. Not a lot of moisture, but enough that they don't dry out into hard little sticks. Okay? Keep the box somewhere cool, dark, and frost-free over the winter. A basement or cold closet works. You want them fairly cool. You do not want them to ever hit the freezing point. So a cool area, not a cold one. Come spring, you can pull them out, divide any crowded clumps, and replant. It's just like waking Sleeping Beauty. She'll need a few weeks to stretch, yawn, and start growing again. Speaking of dividing, cannas multiply fast. Every few years, you'll find your clumps have gotten a little bit crowded. Just like goats in the barnyard, too many in one space leads to drama. So dig them up, split the rhizomes apart, and make sure each piece has at least one good growing eye, then replant. You can share extras with your friends or trade for different colors. It's one of those plants that spreads joy as it spreads roots. So you don't have to waste the pieces that you pull off. Replant them, trade them, whatever you feel like doing. Now let's talk about style, because this is where Canna really shines. You can use her as a centerpiece in a tropical themed bed or line a fence or a walkway for that instant resort look. Dwarf varieties look really stunning in large containers, especially when paired with something like trailing sweet potato vines or one of the many, anything that's got a good vine, it'll look great with. The contrast of textures and colors just makes everything pop. And because they're so bold, cannas also make wonderful backdrops for many of your smaller flowers. Pair them with zinnias or marigolds, ornamental grasses. This will give you a show-stopping mix of form and color. Now, no diva is without her issues. Cannas can attract a few unwanted fans, like Japanese beetles, who we all hate, and they can attract caterpillars and slugs. Keep an eye out for chewed leaves. That's your first hint that something's there that shouldn't be. Regular inspection and a little organic pest control, like neem oil or even hand picking the bugs off, that usually does the trick. You usually don't have to do too much more than that. In humid climates, they can also develop rust or leaf spot. But good air circulation and not watering directly on those leaves, but watering the roots instead, that'll help. So, fun fact, in many areas of the world, certain species of canna are grown for their edible rhizomes. These edible ones have been cultivated for centuries. Not all of them are edible, but some of them are. Now, we're not exactly planning to add canna soup to the Andersen Acres menu, but it's neat to know your ornamental plant does have some culinary history. And let's be honest, if plants had personalities, the canna would be that friend who insists on sitting near the window for better light, arrives overdressed to every event, and somehow still manages to be everyone's favorite. She's flashy. She's earned it. So whether you're looking to add a touch of the tropics to your homestead or just want a plant that makes your garden feel like it should come with its own pina colada, Canna can really help you out. She could be your girl. She'll steal the spotlight all summer long. Just be ready to give her a little TLC when the cold weather comes knocking. That's about it for me here today at Andersen Acres. Tell me in the comments, have you ever grown cannas, or are you thinking about adding some to your garden this year? And what color would your garden diva be? Red, yellow, or something a little more wild? We'll see you tomorrow.